Thank you for tuning into the Onyx Effect. Today we have Dr. Ali, who has come to step in the ring with Onyx.
But people have to learn to respect each other's authority. You have to respect the doctors. You have to do what the doctors say. You can't sit and tell a doctor, I don't believe that's no good. That's not going to be good for me. You can't do that. You have to respect authority. And they will respect you. And if they don't, you tell them so and you walk away. You do not argue with these people. They're not worth arguing. You don't. When people are drunk or intoxicated or high, you can't reason with that kind of person. You don't even have to waste your time talking to them because it's not going to get through.
Right.
They're intoxicated. It's not going to go through. They're not normal. They have their problems and their troubles. And the best way for you to handle that, just don't say nothing and walk away. Alone too long. It has to stop. So you have to learn to grit your teeth and just bear it. And don't say anything. Because all you're going to do is make the temperature rise. And you're going to do something and say something that you cannot take back. So this is my thing, is to try to develop people's character, develop children's character, develop older people. Now, I see an old person do it, that's very rare. You know, you get some groupie old folks, you know, you get groupie and groggy and crazy. They have a problem. So you don't argue with people like that. You don't disrespect them. Because, you know what? We are making our bed for tomorrow in another life. Because there is another life. So when you act up in this life, you best believe the next life you're not going to have a peaceful one. So that's my whole thing for just trying to have my own way of, you know, helping women and keeping them strong, keeping them respectful. A woman has gone too far. They're tweaking, they're shaking their butts in public. It's just so disrespectful. We have to get the woman back the way she belongs. We have to get the woman to learn how to build her crown. She cannot wear her crown if she don't build it. And she has to build it with respect and dignity. You know? And our young girls are going in the wrong direction. They're not learning how to be women. They're learning to do things just for the sake of money, or weed, or a name. And that is a very low level. And we have to get out of that.
That is so insightful, so powerful, and to have that come from someone that has actually lived in these areas and in these eras. One of the things that I want to get into a little deeper with you is because you told us a lot of behind the scenes information.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is so powerful, and who a person is often built based on things that we don't see. One of the things that we alluded to and that people know you as is the ex-wife of Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
So one of the things I want to talk about when we come back is how you transitioned and how you were able to deal with and remain the woman that you are, the author, the actress, the black belt,
Yes.
all of those things and what you're doing today. So we'll get into that in just a moment about how you were able to move from behind the scenes and become the force and continue to be the force you are, because it appears that you were always a force and you were just a hidden gem from us. So we'll be right back with more from Mama Ali. So we're back, and one of the things we left off on is that you being behind the scenes, you providing all of this amazing insight from behind the scenes,
Yes.
and people not understanding the impact that you had on someone that we all idolized, on
Yes.
someone that we all looked up to. There were things from him not going into the military, all the way up into all of these different things that you had to endure. And we're familiar with who he is, and some of the things as far as being divorced and you having 4 children with him. And I want to understand, how did you deal with being the power or the woman behind the movement? Because we all know that Muhammad Ali was a movement, is a movement, and you have been credited with being a woman behind the movement, but no one really telling us about these amazing things that you've done, like being a black belt and having studied under Bruce Lee, those type of things, and then moving forward into your career as being an actress and a producer and the things that you're doing now. So can you just take us on a journey for what those things were like and explain a little bit of where you are now as well?
Okay, the only reason why I really got interested in him, I saw that he needed me. I saw that he needed somebody to guide him with his purpose. I felt if he had married a beautiful sister, black sister, she reminds me of Elizabeth Taylor, his first wife, Sonia Roy, beautiful sister. But it wasn't the fact that she didn't want to become Muslims. I don't understand why she didn't get it. I said, well, if this marriage does not work, I'm going to step in, try to help my brother. Because I saw me in him a lot. But I'm a little bit stronger. And I said, if I can actually guide him a little bit, he would be the greatest husband ever. I would make him so huge that the things I could tell him, he would be really on his own. And that was my focus. And to be honest with you, do you remember the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes.
Where Clarence, the angel, came down and he told this young man, he said he didn't think he would be important for his town and his city. If you would he said, well, if I'll take you out of this life with your wife and family in this town, if I take you out, we'll see what the town turns out to be without you. So he showed him what it would have been without him because of what he helped along the way. Stopping that man from the pills. He would have made a mistake and killed somebody because of those pills, because his son was killed in the army and he was upset. So George said, you're putting poison in those pills. And he slapped his ear, and he can't hear out of that ear. All that was for a reason. If you would take me out of Cassius Clay's life, he wouldn't be Muhammad Ali. He would not have been Muhammad Ali. He would have been a great fighter, and he would be known like Joe Louis. But that would be all. They take people out of your life, and they help each other secretly and magically. When Cassius Clay wanted to become Muslim, I said, you know what? If you become Muslim, you cannot go to white man's wars. We don't fight the white man's wars. He said, well, I ain't gonna be I won't be there to kill nobody. They'll put me in the gym like Joe Louis, and I'd be like famous Joe Louis. I won't have to fight. I said, man, if you sign your name on that paper, that's what you have to do. When they say jump, you're supposed to say hi, and you cannot be a help to any of those soldiers if you don't want to fight. So you're gonna hurt somebody. He said, I understand all that, but what would you do if you was me, since you're so smart? And I said to him, hell no, I would not go clean out my cell, take me to jail without bail. Hell no. He said, you say that to the white man? Hell yes. Now I didn't tell him to go out there and tell all those people this. I didn't tell him to go tell the news people all of this, and he's known for it now. No, we won't go. That's his words.
Yeah.
Actually, literally, it was my words. And these are the little things we add to our husbands and enhance them, that let them be themselves so they'd be easy to talk with them. These are the things that my words that he said that they thought was his words were my words, but actually it really was his words because I helped him with it. Do you know how it made me feel for him to say my poems and he made them famous? Well, see, along the way it made him famous as well. That was the whole intent. So, putting my husband in front of me, putting him and helping him along the way. Because when he turned around and he had to ask a question about something, I gave him the right answer. So that's what we did together as a husband and wife. It wasn't about him being big or me being big. It was about me supporting him, giving him the avenues to say to people on a one level, a simple level. When you saw Muhammad Ali, you saw me. I was there. Keeping quiet is just something the women do. They support their husband and they keep quiet. I mean, we can both sing together, but we can't talk together. So I put my words into his mouth. And he does the same for me. And by him being this talented, he became famous. But I gave him the human part of me. And even though they don't give me credit for it, it doesn't matter. I helped my husband along the way. But he didn't see what I saw. He didn't know that when I became married to him, that was going to be for the rest of my life. For my surprise, that wasn't his dream. It was only mine. And when he get off kilter, he wants somebody different, and he want to have another wife, he want to have another woman, and he want to do all that. That wasn't my goal at all. So if he wants something bad enough after he got what he wanted already, then I just have to pack up and leave. I'm done. If I can't teach you anything else, if we can't work on anything else for the family, if your eyes are roaming different ways, I'm gonna have to let you go. Because I'm not gonna allow a man of mine go and dibble dab and every time, Dick and Harry. But the thing, he made a mistake. He brought these women into my home. And that's a line you don't cross. Any normal man knows that. So he got big and bold and really began to believe he really was the greatest and did whatever he wanted to do, when he wanted to do with these women in my own home. So that's when I got fed up. I'm not a captain of any ship. If this ship is gonna sink, I ain't sinking with it. So I got off. But in the meantime, I decided not to let nobody tell me what to do with my children. These are our children. So I said, we're gonna be friends. I'm gonna forgive you for everything you've ever done to me. And we're just gonna be the mother and father of our children. That's it. But I'm gonna be your friend. And I'll forgive you all your ignorance. I'll forgive you. And that was a very bold thing to do. After my pain and suffering, I just went off the track. I had nervous breakdowns. It shocked me. But this is the thing. Without him, I don't know what I would have done without him, but I know I would be outstanding. I know I would be aggressive. I know I would travel around the world. I knew that part of my life. But we happened to do it together. And trust me, Onyx, it was a wonderful journey. We had a little hiccups on the way, but to be honest with you, it was the best day of my life. I was on covers of magazines. My children was on covers of magazines. I met the Black Panthers. I met Wilma Rudolph, the track star. I met great people, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. I met the famous James Baldwin of all people. I met these men and women, Richie Havens, the Beatles, Queen of England. I've met these people that these young people are looking in their history books with. I've met these great people, the Temptations. I've met them personally. I fed them in my home. I fed the Kool and the Gang in my home. I met John Gotti in my home. I met so many interesting people. Sly and the Family, Stones, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley. I've had interactions with these on a personal level. I love my life.
Yes.
I love my life. I love my Muslim world that I grew up in. I knew how to act and carry myself as a decent Muslim woman in front of all these great people. Matter of fact, the way I carried myself made Ali look good. You dig? So I'm happy of the good part of my life, even though it turned out not the way I wanted it, but I made it work.
Yeah.
And I give Allah the thankfulness and the blessings that what I went through in life, and I learned to adapt. I learned when life changes our path, we have to learn to respect it and accept it and move on. How can I move on? They put this man's name in my face every single day. The father of my children every single day. How can I move on? So I learned to embrace what I learned. I've learned to embrace who I had with me. And I've learned to respect great Black men and the tasks that they have to go through every single day. And I want our women to give their all to their men. Give them the respect that they need. Give them, it's hard. They don't get it sometimes. You know, they might act like dogs sometimes, but don't call them dogs. Don't call them bad names because they're going through something. What they have to go through in life is the most hardest thing anyone can encounter. To be tested, to be ridiculed, to be talked down to. The white society has given all the jobs to our women, so our men have nothing, and it divides the family. It has divided our families. It has divided our communities. It has divided our life. And the same thing they did in slavery, they're doing it right now today in modern time. It's a new division. It's a new slavery. It's a modern day upgrade slavery. And we don't want to fall into those slavery pockets. We've got to beat the system. We've got to beat the interrogation. We have to beat the hate. We have to beat the racism. We have to still be the best that we can do and overcome it. But we cannot do it if we break our families up. We cannot do it if we don't support our men. We cannot do it if we don't respect our women. And this will go on and on till they learn that to support each other makes us whole. There's too many young men growing up in these families without a father. We need our men. The majority of those men are incarcerated because they have no connection with their fathers. They have no connection with respect. They have no connection with the way they live. A woman has to raise all of us. But a man is missing something that a man needs. If you don't have a brother, you don't have a father, go and be around great men that can build you up. You'll always have a father. You'll always have a God to guide you. You're gonna make it one way or the other. Just don't give up. And our men is giving up. Our women is giving up. So if I can't help encourage our women to be strong, to be humble, to be submissive in a good way, because you want to, not because you have to. It's because you want to. Get I give you an example? My father was sitting in the chair in the living room, and my mother was sitting on the sofa, and she was mending socks. And in his little recliner, and his shoes are sitting on the side of his recliner. And he looks over to my mom, and he says, "Baby," he said, "would you give me my shoes?" I go, "Dad, your shoes is right next to your chair. You're gonna make my mother get up and go all the way over there to give you your shoes? Come on, man." And my mom, in a flirty way, looks at him and says, "I love giving my husband his shoes." And I said, "Oh, this is great. This is nuts." And she smiles at him and they flirt. And he walks over. He said, she said, "Would you like me to put them on for you?" I said, "This is creepy. This is not right. Something's wrong here." And I said, "Daddy, you're gonna make her make my baby do anything she don't want to do. Mama, you gonna fall for that?" I love putting my husband's shoes. I said, "You know what? I ain't never getting married. This is not working for me." And then they go back and they flirt. I said, "Oh man, this has got to stop." Then I realized it was making me look like an idiot because they love each other. They do things because they want to. They don't do things. He never demanded my mother to do anything. And see, this is what the little people, the little women don't understand. When I spoke at a hall on Black Business Women Day, this woman got out proudly and said that she was an executive of her own business, and and I said, "So you're married?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Where's your husband? Aren't you gonna give him his dinner?" "Oh, he could get his own dinner for himself." I said, "Whoa. What?" I said, "But you're the one." "Yeah, I know it, but he can stay home, he can get his own dinner because I'm busy." I said, "My daddy used to make time. My mother used to make time if she was busy, but she still created her crown and gave her husband his food graciously. She always made time because she runs her world. She can do anything she wants. So don't say that too loudly, baby." She said, what happened here?" I said, "Honey, if you're a wife, you can make time to give your husband his food. That's what you do. That's what you are. But do it because you want to. Don't do it because you have to." And this is what I'm trying to teach our women. We need to caress our husbands. We need to love them, flirt with them, have fun with them, and enjoy life. Don't bicker and backer and bah. This is our problem. Little things like that.
It is.
Yeah. And my dad said, "I don't have to make my wife to do anything because she loves doing it. Let her love doing it."
What I got from that is that you can submit to your husband. You can support your husband and you cannot lose yourself.
Exactly.
You can still be a strong woman. You can still be a force to reckon with, and you can still walk and stand in who you are. And you don't have to degrade a man or your husband to do that.
That's right.
And we need so much more leadership like that because my grandmother raised me, so I feel like I'm one of the women that got it, but I also was raised by a grandmother who taught me those things.
Yes.
And a lot of times there's a struggle where there does not need to be a struggle. So I, for one, am grateful and thankful to you that you have taken up the banner to continue to educate us and show us, because you are an amazing, amazing, amazing woman. Like, you need to be in all of our history books.
That's right.
You're somebody that we need to read about daily. We shouldn't have to just Google you. We should know. We open the book on Black history, and it should be more than a year because we are Black history all over the world. You should be one of the faces that we see.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we give you all of the time to talk about who you are now and what you're doing now and how we can connect to you now and support you now, because I mentor and work with a lot of young people and they are looking for this.
Yes.
They aren't looking they're looking for you.
Yes.
So we need to know how they can support you. We need to know what you're doing, Mama Ali.
Well, basically, knowing what I know, And what I've learned, the most important thing, a lot of our females, they wasn't fortunate to have a father like mine. By my father being in my life, learning and the respect from him, and I saw disrespect from my own husband, I realized that if my father exists, there are other men that exist that way. That's why I have hope for our men. There are a lot of women that had only bad journeys with me. No man has never shown them respect. They've beat them. They've hurt them and broken their hearts. So they might turn to a woman instead. A lot of them have that reason. That's how much hurt and pain can turn a woman. And it's the same with men. And it's good to have the both of it as a balance. In all my works from here on out, and I only have a little life to live, I hope to be 150. But in the meantime, if I can raise enough money to open up an academy to teach our men and women how to treat each other, to teach our women how to sew, how to cook, how to raise children. There won't be no PTSD or whatever about birthing babies and killing babies, and that's just dumbfounding. And if we have a coach to help young women to take care of their children, to how to clean their homes, how to sew their own clothes, how to do things that they don't have the resources or money for. I suffered and with Muhammad when we didn't have anything. And I made my own clothes. I made my baby's clothes. I made his clothes. So we got along and we looked like we was $1 million because we was always, and I just sewed my sewing machine and made clothes. And because I learned that as a kid, I learned that. Their men need to be trained to appreciate women, to take them out at dinner, not to get into bed with them, but to take them out to enjoy a dinner, to enjoy going to the movies, to enjoy this without any strings attached.